A goal without action is just a dream. You might have heard this at some point, but 92% of people who set goals don't achieve them. So what are the 8% who do? What are they doing so successfully? Stick around and we'll find out. Welcome to Impact Your Evolution with me, Coach Andy James, and it's our goal to help you turn your health from an option into your priority. Goals. Maybe you've set many, maybe you've achieved a few. Chances are we all have at some point. But that one word in itself sets off inspiration in some and fear in others. It's a strange old word, goals. But we're going to give you 6 points on how to achieve better goals moving forwards, bigger goals moving forwards. So these are the 6 points that those 8% of people who are really succeeding with their goals use on a regular basis. Now, you might find all of them work. You might find only a few of them are needed. But I can guarantee you now all 6 of these points will help your goals move forwards. I'm just going to give you a little bit of an insight. So you may think that every time one of these podcasts are produced, that they're just kind of there for you to access. Well, here's the story. Every time I click a button to produce a podcast, there's a process that goes into place first. And I'm not going to re-edit because I've just messed a word up. The lighting, the camera, the audio, the tech, the screen record, everything that goes into it is a process. I click record and I hope I have a goal every time I do that it will be one take and I'll nail it first time, click publish, after editing, and away we go. Never works out that way. Like most goals, we have an idea, we know what we want, and we kind of stumble along the way to getting there. Does that mean that every week the podcast doesn't get released? No, the podcast gets released. But what should take me 15, 20, 30 minutes takes me hours. This is my 31st attempt at recording this podcast this week. My goal was to do it in one take. But do I give up? I'm committed to having the podcast go out because I know somebody at some point will take value in these 6 points in achieving their goals and setting better, bigger goals. So my reason to do this is you. My reason to do this because I know that these points work because I've used them for years myself, and I know that somebody else needs to hear them to help them improve their process on achieving their goals too. So my reason is great, and I'm committed to seeing this through regardless of how difficult it looks. So just keep this story in mind as I refer to these 6 points. Point 1, be specific, but also make your goals challenging, but not too hard. You want to have them specific, not too vague. So I want to run 5K is specific. I want to run is very broad and very vague. Be specific in what you ask for so you know the direction that you're traveling in, but also make it challenging. Don't make it too hard that you can't achieve it. It wants to be something that's just out of your grasp, not unattainable. There's no reason to do something, no reason, no purpose to keep doing something if you know that it's too far out of your grasp. You have to have something that is reward driven for you to want to keep showing up. So make sure it's just outside of your grasp and not too far. How do you do this for the bigger goals? I.e., say if somebody wanted to lose 100 pounds in body weight. That's a very large number. It's a very large task to be able to try and lose 100 pounds. But that 100 pounds might take months or even years. How do you stay committed for that length of time? You don't. You turn that big goal into the vision and you set 10-pound goals along the way 10 times. And every time you do that, the vision becomes the big goal because you've achieved all the small ones to get you to there. So when you set your goals, make sure they're specific, challenging, but not too hard that you can't achieve them. Second point is be passionate and stay committed. Give yourself a reason to do this every single day or however frequent it is that you're working towards your goals. There needs to be a reason why. If the reasons has no meaning to it, has no value to you, no purpose, you've got no drive to want to get up and do that thing as frequently as needed to achieve the goal. There's no real want for it. But also you need to know that you can stay committed through to the end. The length of time it takes shouldn't really be applicable if the reason why is great enough. You will just do these things. I'm still working towards my biggest goal is, I won't share it on the podcast because it's something that I work on year in, year out. But the big goal for me in health and fitness in itself is to have a service that many can use and many benefit from. And I've worked with many over the years cumulatively, but I don't work with many all in one go. And now the goal is to work with many in one go. So how do I do this? Every single year, I reframe what that goal looks like and I get more specific. I make it challenging. I stay committed. But I also need to make sure that I have a reason every single day to do that. So point 1 and point 2 is be specific, make it challenging, but not too hard. Have a reason, stay committed. Third one is use a feedback cycle or a feedback loop to track your progress. Now, if you have trial, error, or trial, win, great. You don't need to change anything if you're winning moving forwards. But if you keep getting to the same hurdle, take information, analyze what's going on, take stock of that, re-implement that information, get to where you were previously, but you're going down a different path this time. You've created a new opportunity. Awesome. You supersede the obstacle, you've moved forwards. Might still not get you to the end goal, but you need to keep readjusting on the approach. If you're finding that you're getting to a sticking point or a hurdle or you're plateauing, reason being is because there's always more than one way to get to the goal that you're looking to achieve. But you just got to try and figure out the way that works for you. Now, just because one way didn't work doesn't mean that you failed. You just found out that that way didn't work for you. Might work for somebody else, but that way didn't work for you. And it's your goal, your responsibility to find the way that does. So you take what you learned from that first 10th, 100th attempt, you re-implement and you go again. And you create new opportunity. You open that one new door every single time you pivot. And every single time you do, you get better. You move forwards and you get close to achieving that goal. So make sure that you're constantly tracking, monitoring, and assessing how you're moving forwards through that feedback loop, that feedback cycle. Next one. Fourth one, align your goals. Try not to have two goals or a goal that has opposing ends. So if you've got one that's very active and very intense, like exercise driven or expenditure driven in one area, and then you've got one that's kind of like sedative and relaxed in another, chances are you're pulling two polar opposites. You want to try and align all of your goals at that specific point in time. So if you've got fitness goals, body composition goals, so if, say for instance, you wanted a healthier lifestyle, and that's quite a broad, it's not very specific if we're using point 1. But if we're going to break that down into numerous goals, then that would be, I would increase my cardio, I would resistance-based train, so weight train, I would pay attention to my food, I'd eat better, I'd pay attention to self-care, so sleep, water, etc., etc. I'd also manage my stress. Like all of these small, attainable goals lead to a better quality of lifestyle. So you can get there. But what you need to be doing is aligning all of those goals to get to that one lifestyle. If you've only got a better lifestyle in mind and you're only doing one or two of those things, and then you've got fast food regularly, you're overly stressed, your goals aren't aligned for you to be able to achieve what you're looking to achieve as a healthy lifestyle overall. So align all of your goals and make sure all of your goals are pointing in the right direction. You'll gain momentum and you'll get there 10 times quicker. The next one, the fifth one, is lean on trusted advisors. So the area of, let's say, the coaching world these days, but you'll find that people lean on accountability a lot more these days than what they ever have done to achieve their goals. Why? Because I was told a long time ago, if somebody else has access to what you need to get to where you need to go, use that resource, you'll get there 10 times quicker than you trying to learn how to do it yourself. Example, if you were to learn everything that I know about health, nutrition, habits, mindset, and all of those things that go with it, it's going to add another 10, 12 years onto your process to get to where you want to go. But you could do that and get there in 12 months by using, i.e., somebody like myself that has access to all of that information already. So you can speed up your process by using that network of people around you. So be open to using trusted advisors. Lean on those people around you that you can use, that have got access to the information that's required for you to achieve your goals. You'll get there quicker, and it's not cheating. Trust me. If you have that support network around you, use it, leverage it. You'll get to where you want to go, again, 10 times faster by being a team of people than trying to do it solo and alone. And the last one, this is a massive misconception that most people have, and it's multitasking. They think that by doing many things, they're going to get to somewhere a lot quicker. And the reality is that we as human beings do not do multitasking very well at all. It's this concept through sort of modern day approach that doing multiple things means or shows that you're busy, and it doesn't. It means and shows that you've got a lot going on and you're not actually completing anything, and that's the reality. You're not achieving those goals. So if you really want to be good at or get to the goal and be good at getting to the goal, get very, very individual in how you get there. Try not to spin too many plates. If you're going to say, I'm going to be fit, focus on being fit. If you're going to say, I'm going to focus on being healthy, focus on being healthy. Try not to be healthy, wealthy, social, financially stable, career driven, like all of these other things start to become too many focuses, and we start to try and do too many things in one go. If you do one thing very, very well, it generally tends to lead to do a lot of other things that have like a domino effect. Normally, kind of ironically, if you look after yourself, it tends to look after all of the other areas in life too around you. So make yourself the priority, because if you can bring yourself back to avoiding all of those multitasking opportunities, let's say, multitasking is just an opportunity to procrastinate. And procrastination is at its highest of all time right now. So this is why that 92% of people drop off, is because there's just too much going on and there's no specificity, there's no individualization, there's no do that one thing. And we then become, or then we end up doing what we do. We become what we do. So if we become very specific, challenging, if we become individualized, if we become accountable, we start to track our actions, you get what you start to do. And this is how that 8% achieve better goals. So use this, you become one of the 8%. Make that 8% a bigger number. And go into, if you're using this at the new year, ironically, we're at that time of the year where a lot of people start setting goals for 2024 or different points of time ahead of them. Use this 6-step process to help you get there, and you'll get there 10 times faster. Hope it helps. If you can share this with somebody, share this podcast with somebody that feels like they might benefit from setting bigger goals. Who deserves to set bigger goals? Who do you know right now that actually, they've been trying for a long time? Maybe they've just missed a mark a couple of times. There's a step in here that I feel like they maybe have been missing. Pass the podcast on to them. Just share the link with them. Grab it from all of the areas that it's shared to: Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, the Impact Health Club website. It's everywhere. Share this podcast with them, episode 144, and they can then pick up, maybe fill in that gap that they're missing out on. Have an awesome week. I'll speak to you in the next one. Take care.